Chosen one, pause. Just for a moment, do not scroll past this. I'm serious. Because what you are about to hear was never meant to reach you this late. This message should have found you days ago, maybe even weeks ago. But something kept getting in the way. Something kept pulling your attention elsewhere, distracting you at the exact moment you were supposed to receive it. Think about it. How many times did you feel like you were about to understand something important, only to lose focus? How many times were you interrupted, delayed, or suddenly too tired to pay attention? That was not random. There has been a resistance around you, subtle, invisible, but very real. A force that didn't want you to hear this. Because the moment you do, things begin to change. The clarity you've been missing starts to return. The confusion begins to lift. And the version of you that has been buried under stress, noise, and doubt starts to wake up. So if you are still here, reading this right now, understand this clearly. You didn't find this message by accident. You were delayed, but not denied. You've been feeling it, haven't you? That strange sense of being pulled in too many directions at once. One moment you're focused, and the next you're distracted for no clear reason. You pick up your phone without thinking. You start something important, then suddenly feel drained, unmotivated, or overwhelmed. Days pass, and you can't quite explain where your time went. Tasks that should have been simple feel heavy. Decisions feel harder than they should. And deep down, there's this quiet frustration. Because you know this isn't really you. It's like something has been slowing you down, delaying you, keeping you just far enough away from clarity. You've told yourself maybe it's stress, maybe it's life, maybe you're just tired. But what if it's more than that? What if all these moments of distraction, exhaustion, and delay weren't random at all? Because when patterns repeat like this, when your energy drops right, when you're about to move forward, when your focus breaks at the exact moment it matters most, that's not coincidence. That's interruption. And it has been happening more often than you realize. And then there were the nights, the ones you don't really talk about, when your body was tired, but your mind refused to rest. You lay there, staring into the dark, feeling something you couldn't quite name. Not exactly fear, but not peace either. A quiet uneasiness, a weight sitting on your chest, even when nothing was visibly wrong. You woke up some mornings already exhausted, as if you had been fighting battles in your sleep. Your energy felt off, your spirit felt heavy, and no matter how much you tried to shake it off, something inside you remained unsettled. There were moments when your thoughts felt scattered, your emotions unpredictable, like your inner world was out of sync with everything around you. You may have even had strange dreams fragments that didn't make sense, feelings that lingered long after you woke up, or those subtle inner whispers. That sense that something wasn't right, but you couldn't explain why. You tried to ignore it. You told yourself it would pass, but it didn't, because these weren't just random feelings. They were signals, quiet, persistent, easy to dismiss, but deeply real. Something within you has been trying to get your attention, gently at first, then more urgently. And the longer it went unheard, the heavier it began to feel. What you didn't see was that there has been a battle happening around you this entire time. Not a physical one, not something you could point to or explain to others, but a quiet, relentless, invisible pressure working against you. And the more you tried to move forward, the stronger it seemed to push back. There is a force that does not benefit from your clarity. It does not want you focused. It does not want you aligned. Because the moment you become clear, decisive, and grounded, you become powerful in a way that cannot be easily controlled. So what did it do? It overwhelmed you. It filled your mind with noise, endless thoughts, doubts, second-guessing. It made simple things feel complicated. It made you question your own instincts. It created anxiety where there should have been peace. It kept you busy but not productive. Surrounded you with distractions that looked harmless, but slowly drained your energy. And the most subtle part, it made all of this feel normal. You started to believe that the exhaustion was just life, that the confusion was just you, that the lack of direction was something you had to accept. But none of that was true, because this wasn't just pressure, this was interference. But here is the truth you need to hear, and you need to hear it slowly. There was never anything wrong with you, not your strength, not your mind, not your direction. What you've been experiencing was not a sign that you are failing, it was a sign that something in your life was being rearranged, quietly, intentionally, beneath the surface where you couldn't see it yet, because sometimes, before clarity arrives, things have to be taken apart. What felt like loss was actually removal. What felt like confusion was actually transition. What felt like delay was actually protection. Certain people had to be moved out of your path. Certain doors had to close, even if you didn't understand why at the time. Patterns that once felt comfortable had to be disrupted, because they were no longer aligned with who you are becoming. And because you couldn't see the full picture, you assumed the problem was you. But it wasn't. You were never broken. You were being refined, adjusted, redirected towards something more stable, more aligned, more true to your purpose. The discomfort you felt was not punishment, it was the process of realignment. So, take a breath, because what you thought was falling apart was actually being set in place. So, listen carefully, because this is the moment that matters most. Do not go back, not to the people who drained you, not to the habits that slowly broke you, not to the environments where you lost your sense of self. You may feel the pull. Familiarity has a way of calling you back, especially when you're tired, especially when things feel uncertain. But understand this clearly. What feels familiar is not always what is right. Do not return to what you were removed from. There was a reason certain doors closed. There was a reason certain connections faded. There was a reason you felt pushed out of spaces you once tried so hard to stay in. It wasn't random. It wasn't a mistake. It was necessary. And now, you are being tested. Will you go back to what hurt you, just because it's comfortable? Will you rebuild the same patterns that once left you empty? Or will you choose differently this time? Do not go back to the same conversations. Do not go back to the same cycles. Do not go back to the same version of yourself that tolerated what you now recognize was not meant for you. Because every step backward will cost you the clarity you've just begun to regain. And deep down, you already know that. And now, something is shifting. You can feel it, even if you can't fully explain it yet. The fog that once clouded your thoughts is beginning to lift. The confusion that kept you stuck is slowly losing its grip. You are starting to see things for what they truly are, not what you hoped they were, not what you were told, but what they actually are. This is your awakening. Your awareness is sharpening. Your instincts are becoming clearer. You're noticing things earlier, sensing what doesn't feel right before it pulls you in. The same situations that once trapped you no longer have the same power. You are not the same person anymore. And because you see more clearly now, you will move differently. The delay is over. What once felt slow, blocked, uncertain, is now beginning to move. The confusion is clearing. The hesitation is fading. You are no longer standing still. You are stepping forward with clarity. This is your acceleration. Things will start aligning faster. Decisions will feel easier, and the path ahead will finally begin to open. If this message resonated with you, don't ignore it. Like, subscribe, and stay connected.